Hey everybody, this is Patricia and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we would talk about something that is pretty close to my heart, and that is traveling to the theme parks like Disney World, Disneyland, Universal Studios, going to those places with someone who is autistic. Those of you who know, and some of you don't know, I have a son who is 15 years old and he is autistic. He is high functioning. He has a form of autism called hyperlexia, which means he's a pretty smart kid. He started reading at the age of 2, and we didn't realize it till we went to have him tested. And actually the doctor suggested, his pediatrician suggested we go and have him tested for autism, which we did, and which he does have. And that's how we found out he was already reading at 2. And yeah, pretty smart kid. So he's really super intelligent with a lack of any common sense. I hope you understand that. Things that are easy are hard, and things that are hard are easy. He's breezing through school like you would not believe. He was potty trained at 4, almost 5. He learned to tie his shoes at 11, and just a few months ago he learned to tell time. You ask him anything about the universe, planets, you ask him any kind of scientific questions, you ask him just anything like that, and he'll just blow your mind, the things he knows. So, yeah, there you go. But I just want to give those of you who are planning a trip to a theme park with someone who is autistic just some tips I've learned. Now, I don't claim to be an expert, and I don't claim to be an expert on autism. I am an expert on my son's autism, because every autistic person is different. And if those of you who are watching who have an autistic child, you know exactly what I'm saying. No two autistic people are alike. So I'm just going to give you some tips I learned the hard way. Some tips I just kind of knew instinctively, and so I'm just going to, in general, we'll just have a chat. And if you don't have anybody who is autistic in your party, just to hear these things might make you understand someone who you might see in the parks who is autistic and be a little more understanding. I will tell you some stories about that too. So let's get started. First of all, at Disney World, they have, when you go to Disney and you're getting ready to go to your first theme park, go to guest services. Guest services, tell them that your son or your daughter or whoever is with you is autistic, and explain the issues they have. Now, the main issues from I think all autistic people will probably have is standing in a long line. The younger the child, the harder it is for them to stand in a line. Believe me. It gets a little easier as they get older. So that's a good thing for you moms and dads out there who have autistic kids who are young, and you're like, oh, it does get better. It doesn't go away. You learn to handle it better, and they learn to handle it better. So that's the good thing. And I will try not to cry in this video. But anyway, go to guest services, tell them about, and the child or the person has to be with you. And usually you can tell. I know as a parent of an autistic child, or the sibling of an autistic person, you know the signs already. And so the people at guest services have seen it. They will understand. So you can get something, it used to be called a guest assistance card. Now I believe they just connect something to your magic band. I haven't been since we've had to do it with a magic band. But I believe it's connected to your magic band now. So used to, we got a card, and they do the cards. I think they still do the cards at Universal. So I'll explain how that works. Universal, we got a card. At Disney, we used to get a card, but I think Disney now is connected to your magic band, which makes it a little easier. It's for the person who is autistic and up to 5 guests with that person, okay? That's how many people can go onto a ride with the autistic person and get the benefit. And I hate to use the word benefit. What it does, it works like a fast pass. If you understand the fast pass system, you get if you go and use the fast pass system, I'm sorry if I backtrack back and forth, but I just think of things. I suggest you use the fast pass system. Go ahead and use fast passes at Disney World. Go ahead and get your 3 fast passes for the day, because we don't want to abuse a system that is only helping our loved one. I think everybody out there is in agreement with me. The system was abused years ago, and that's why it's made it much harder to get this privilege. So we don't want to abuse it, so use fast passes. I'm all for get your 3 fast passes, but you still have an issue. What this does, fast pass gets you into the fast pass line, which you don't have to stand in line as long. That's what the GAC does, or the guest assistance card, or I don't even know if it's called that anymore, but it works like a fast pass. When you had the handwritten ones, which they still, I believe, have at Universal, you go to the attraction you want to ride. And there's always cast members. Disney called them cast members. Universal calls them guest assistants, I think, or yeah. You go, and there'll be somebody at the end of the line for the ride. You show them your paper, and they look at what the line wait is. Say the wait is 60 minutes. They give you a time to come back, which is like 50 minutes away. So it's like you've been standing in that line for 50 minutes. So you come back 50 minutes later, get in the express lane, or if there is not an express lane, they do use handicap entrances, or sometimes just a special entrance for you that's not open to the public. But you get to go and get in line and get on your ride. So without standing in line. Now, those of you who are saying, well, that's not fair. Let me explain what happens when somebody with autism has to stand in a long line. Now remember, the younger the child, the harder this is. You get in a line, you have to stand there. It's moving slow. Gets surrounded by people. They feel all like the whole world's crashing in on them. The signs with my son was the minute it got just too much, he immediately went into a squat position. After the squat position became a fetal position, laying on the ground, and then after that, just full-blown tantrum. They can't help it. They don't understand. Their brains are wired differently than, I hate to use a word, I'll use the word an average person. Their brains are wired differently. They can't handle these crowds. That's the issue, standing in line for a ride. So I am thankful these theme parks have this system in place just to help us out just any way they can. I will let you know that does not work for fireworks. It does not work for parades, and it does not work for meet and greets of characters. Now, my son wants nothing to do with anyone in a costume. No problem. Wants nothing to do with a parade. It's loud and it's crowded. Not going to stand there and watch a parade. That's not happening. Fireworks, Oh my gosh, let me tell you my story of what happened. Me, the first time I took my son to Disney, he was 9 years old. And I wanted him to have the best experience he could have at Disney World. So I'm like, I did all this research, which I normally am that kind of person anyway. I research and I just research everything to death. I know everything I need to know before I go. But I became that kind of person having an autistic child. I really wasn't that way before, but now I know all the ins and outs. So I'm like, okay, the best place for my son to see the fireworks. We are going to get in the railway station at the end of Main Street in the Magic Kingdom, sitting upstairs. There's chairs. We pull a chair up to the rail. We can watch the parade come towards us and then the fireworks. What was I thinking? We got there 2 hours early and we sat there and we had an enjoyable time sitting there and watching people. He was okay with that. He was happy as could be. We had some things for him to do. We're watching people. I'm okay. I can take a break. The parade starts. People start piling behind us. I'm like, oh my word, what have I done? So we make it through the parade. He did not enjoy that parade, not one little bit. Then the fireworks. By the time when the second firework boomed, full on tantrum, meltdown. I hate to say tantrum, meltdown. We grab him. Luckily we're right at the exit. We head out of there. We get down to the bus to catch our bus back to our resort. And he looks up and he goes, oh, fireworks. That's the only time we've actually seen fireworks in the park since my son was born. If your child loves fireworks, mine loves fireworks. He doesn't want to be near the fireworks. He loves to see the fireworks. Go to the Polynesian resort that's on the monorail line around Magic Kingdom. Go to the Polynesian, and there are places too at the Grand Floridian. Go to their beaches, and you can see the fireworks from there. I can't remember, but I think at the Polynesian they had the music playing, and we could watch the fireworks. You're across the Bay Lake, and the fireworks are like that big, but the booms are not that loud, and it's not packed. A lot of people have found this spot, but it's not like people just, encasing you, just all around you, just like right on top of you. So it's a little easier. Do not, I repeat, do not book a package to go and watch the fireworks in one of the restaurants. No, that's a big no. The restaurants they book up solid, so it's packed. Waiters are going around, it's busy, and then when those fireworks start, they turn down the lights and turn up the music. So what was already a noisy restaurant just got 10 times more noisier. Not your child's gonna. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Skip that. Try the Polynesian. I think you can see some of Epcot's Illumination. I think from the bridge over near the Boardwalk Resort. I have not tried that position, so I can't swear. I have not seen Illuminations in 20 years. So, yeah, I don't know. Not sure about that one. So that's just some little hints I have for you. If you got the money, you can get a room at the Contemporary that faces the Magic Kingdom, and you can sit on your balcony. Or you can close the sliding doors and watch from inside your room. They do have the music, I think, through the television, but you can control the volume there if you got the money, if fireworks are that important to you. So, yeah. Universal Orlando. I do not know about Universal California. I'm assuming it's sort of the same. But Universal doesn't really have a fireworks show. They have a show with water, and they do projections on the water about, movies. And then they shoot off just a few fireworks, not a fireworks show, just the big white goes up, but doesn't make the big beautiful fireworks. So there's not really fireworks at Universal. So you're not missing anything. I will tell you, we did watch that little bit of fireworks from our room in Cabana Bay. We got a tower room that did not face the pool. We asked for just the regular room, and it just happened to face towards the theme parks, and we did see the fireworks quite by accident one night. In our room, we're like, wow, there's fireworks. But there's not much to them. But you can see them from Cabana Bay, Universal's, but you can't really call it a fireworks show. Parades. My son wants nothing to do with a parade. Haven't seen a parade. We try to be somewhere else. Let's see if I can think. A great tip I have, if you're going to be all day in a park, if you're not staying on Disney property and you don't have park hopper tickets, and so you can't easily go back to your room and take a break from the madness, and you're going to be in the park all day, I highly suggest booking a table service restaurant, a sit-down restaurant, somewhere in the middle of your day. Middle of your day we learned a long time ago not to really eat at prime times, eat off time. So say 2, 3 o'clock, go to a sit-down restaurant, and it'll probably be quieter, and you can just have a break from everything. You're in the air conditioning. We like the Plaza. It's on Main Street. It's not a big draw. It doesn't get a lot of people wanting to go eat there. Food's good. We like that because it's not busy. It's not crowded. We want nothing to do with Be Our Guest. There is no way I'm going to try to take my child to Be Our Guest. But he's 15. He doesn't want to go to Be Our Guest. We stay away from the highly themed, exciting new restaurants because they're crowded and they're loud. So try the Plaza if you're in the Magic Kingdom. Epcot, there's so many to choose from. Just somewhere where you can just sit down and be quiet for a while. But yeah, just try that out. You'll be surprised at what your child can do. My child he opens up and just blossoms when he's at Disney World or he's at Universal Studios, and my child has no problem with rides. He likes to ride the rides, so that's not an issue. But my main suggestion is to really know your child and don't try to force them to ride something they don't want to ride. Research the rides. There is a website. It's called wdwinfo.com. It's the DIS. I watch all the DIS episodes. I have been watching them for years. They have helped me plan my vacations because I can watch ride videos. YouTube, go on YouTube, watch. People have filmed just about every ride. And look for a POV video, point of view. Watch those videos. See if it's something your child will do and will not do, instead of getting in that line, getting up there to get on that ride just to find out your kid is not going to ride that ride. They're going to bail on you. So do your research. That's the most important thing I can stress, is do your research. I also subscribe to touringplans.com. I like touring plans because they tell me what they think the crowds are going to be like every day based on the past. So they use data from past years and tell you the crowd levels, because you want to go when the crowd levels are low. That's the key. I don't want to tell you how to do your vacation. That's not what this is for, suggestions. I really don't suggest going in the summer unless that's your only time to go, but it's going to be harder. We go off season. The week between Thanksgiving and Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not Christmas, but that little time frame between there is the slowest time at Disney World. That's a good time. But we go September. We go usually early spring. I don't like to go when it's cold. We went when March and it was cold wave came through. Was not my favorite time to go. Also, if you're going and you want to stay at one of the value resorts like the All-Stars, please keep in mind, we learned this the hard way. My husband said he'll never stay at another All-Star resort. We have stayed at All-Star movies, and that was an enjoyable experience. And I think that was in May. We stayed at All-Star Music in March, and it was loaded down with school groups. You've got your choral groups, you've got your bands, you've got your cheerleaders. The food court was full of teenagers, with just loud. So just keep that in mind. Try to think when schools may not be there. I'm thinking they probably don't have any trips planned for the first of the school year, and probably not right at the end. Like I said, I think when we went to All-Star Movies, it was in May, and we didn't have any school groups, and it was nice. Because school is just about out. But, that's one thing you need to worry about at the All-Star Movies, or at any of the All-Star resorts, is school groups. School groups do book that. We prefer now Cabana Bay Beach Resort at Universal and just drive to Disney. We do that now because my family actually likes that resort better. The prices are very comparable to the All-Star prices, and there's two pools. There's a nice pool slide. There's a lazy river. It's right next door now to Volcano Beach Water Park. You can actually walk from your resort there. They have a Starbucks, a bowling alley, which we haven't done because my son can't handle the sound of the bowling balls, especially if it's crowded. We haven't done that, but there is a bowling alley there. There's just so much to do there and my son is now at the age where Universal is more of a fun thing than Disney. So it just depends on your child and what their interests are. Also, try to seek out some quiet spots in the parks. I can tell you at Universal, there is a park around the main, like there's a big, I guess I'll call it a lake in the center of the Universal Park. That everything's just kind of around that center. There's a park-like setting. It's supposed to be sort of like Central Park, I believe. Nobody ever uses that. That's a great place to go grab something to eat at like the Simpsons area and walk down in there. Don't eat in the loud cafeteria. Get your food and go outside and sit on a bench in the shade and just enjoy some quiet. Just look for some quiet places that you can just sit and just take it in. And just remember, if you don't see it all, you don't see it all. That's okay. I just tell myself these trips are for my son, and so I do what he wants to do and through his eyes. And you know what? If he'd rather hang out at the pool, you know what? We'll go hang out at the pool. But yeah, I hope these tips helped you in some way. I can't think of anything else. I'm trying to give you, some of my things I've learned through the years. Just research, research, research. Know what your child can and can't do, or the person with you. Just learn what they can and can't do, and just plan your trip around that, because you can get enjoyment out of just maybe hitting some gift shops, or just walking around and looking for all the little things, and just try to stay out of the crowds as much as possible. So, and I know that sounds like it's hard to do at Disney World, but it's really not, and you will see your child will absolutely enjoy a trip to Disney. So I hope I helped y'all. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I will try to answer them the best I can. So I hope y'all have a happy vacation, and thanks for watching.